Hello everyone, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Keisha and today I'm going to be doing a spooky middle grade try chapter. Hi friends, Editing Keisha here, and I just wanted to say please ignore the fact that I wore a shirt that blended into my background. Just enjoy the content. Okay, we can laugh about this together because I sure did once I looked. I was like, wow, I meant to change shirts and I didn't, so just enjoy the fact that I'm camouflaged. So if you have been around on my channel for any amount of time, you know that I love spooky middle grade books. And over the years, I have accumulated quite a few. I have unhauled some since accumulating so many because I've tried to really curate my collection to books that I'm really excited to read. But I do still have quite a few spooky middle grade. So I thought since it's middle grade March and I love spooky middle grade books, that it would be a really good time of year to try to get some spooky middle grade books weeded off my shelf, or at least start reading more of them. So I have here a stack of 10 books that I'm gonna go through, but we're gonna do this in kind of a fun way. So the concept for this video today is going to be that I have this stack of 10 spooky middle grade books, and I'm going to have a special guest jump in and join me, which if you've seen the thumbnail, you probably already know who that is. But my special guest is gonna come in and join me, and that person is going to read the first chapter of, you're not reading the first chapter. That person is going to read and that person is going to read the first sentence of each of these books, and then I'm going to order the books from top to bottom in order of like how well I like the sentence. So if I really like the sentence, it'll be closer to the top or at the top, and if I don't, you know, vice versa. So they will be stacked according to how I like the first sentence. So once I have the books organized from my favorite sentence to my least favorite sentence, then I'm going to take the bottom book in the stack and I'm going to try to do like a try chapter and then unhaul if I don't like the chapter, but I may not do that. But what I will guarantee you that I'm going to do is I will take the top 3 books, do a try chapter with each of those 3 books, and then after I've read the first chapter of each of those 3, I will pick 1 or 2 of them to read for this vlog. Really quickly, I'm just going to show you the title of each of these books so you know what the books are, and then I will also have my special guest show you which book they are reading from before they read the sentence aloud. I will not know because I will have my eyes covered, because obviously if I did this myself, I would be swayed by the book potentially, but these are the books that are contenders for today. We have The Missing Piece of Charlie O'Reilly by Rebecca K.S. Ansari. Then we have Ravenfall by Kaylin Josephson. Field Guide to the Supernatural Universe by Allison Noel. The House on Hoarder Hill by Mickey Leash and Kelly Nagai. Probably not pronouncing those right. The Ghouls of Howlfair by Nick Tomlinson. The Plentiful Darkness by Heather Kastner. The Girl in White by Lindsay Curry. 13s by Kate Alice Marshall. Extra Normal by Kate Alice Marshall. The Monsters of Rookhaven by Padraig Kinney. The Hidden Seek by Nate Cernasek. And The Circus of Stolen Dreams by Lorelei Saverin. This book is already on my middle grade March TBR, so I'm going to read it either way, but if it ends up being a good sentence and a good chapter, I may end up reading it for this vlog. So now we're going to go ahead and introduce my special guest. If you have been here or on my channel any amount of time, you probably already know who he is, but introducing my husband, Will. Yay! Yeah, he's going to kill me.
Hello everyone, and hello Jovi.
Yeah, Jovi is going to, oh, she snapped at you. She was like, excuse you, do not get near my mom. But anyways, I have Will here. He's going to help me out by reading the first sentence of each of these books. So I don't have my blindfold today, so I'm just going to cover my eyes and shut my eyes, and you guys are just going to have to trust me that I don't know anything. But since I know what order the stack of books is in, I'm going to need you to take the stack of books and at least rearrange them a little bit. So you're going to do that real quick. I'll cut the camera for a second while he does that. He's going to rearrange the stack of books, and then he's going to start reading me the first sentence of each one. Okay, we're ready. We're back. I have my eyes closed. I can't see anything, and Will's going to start with the first book. So show the camera what the first book is, and go ahead with the first sentence.
All right. This is our first book. I can't read the title, right?
No,
Okay.
because then I would know.
Gotcha. The ghost tour guides had given up after another day without customers. The awnings were coming down outside the tourist office on Zalaska Street, and gently, cheek by cheek, the summer starlings sang the sun to sleep.
Is that the first sentence?
Yeah.
It's a long first sentence. I think I know
is.
what that book is too.
You don't.
Okay. Well, we're starting the stack. That one's just gonna have to sit. So go ahead and just sit that one and start the new stack. Then the second book.
All right, this is our second book. Hopefully the first sentence will be a little shorter in this book. The stone raven dreamed of flying. I like that sentence better.
I think I know what that one is too. Okay, I want that one on top.
Okay.
Of the other one. So that one and then, okay.
Good
Next.
deal. Book number 3.
That's a hardcover.
No, it's not. It's the opposite of a hardcover.
It just sounded like one.
Nope. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Look, I know this probably isn't the best way to begin a story, considering how pretty much everyone hates a pop quiz, but before you go any further, I need you to answer a question.
I want to know what the question is.
No.
If I ask, I want to know what the question is.
It's not part of the agreement.
Just let me know what the question is, please.
Let me open it again. Do you believe in ghosts?
That was it. Okay.
That wasn't the next sentence either. There was more.
That's okay. I want that one below, like in between. So we have 3 books, and I want that one in the middle. Even though that is an intriguing start. Okay.
Next book. Gloom cluttered the whole of the tower, and within its dark folds stood a magician.
Oh, and wait, I thought I knew what that was, and then I heard the hardcover.
It's not a hardcover. It's paperback.
No,
100% paperback.
Stop. I think my issue with this is going to be that I'm trying to guess the book versus actually paying attention to the first sentence. So, let's go. Can you read it one more time?
No, you get one read.
I don't remember it, please.
Gloom cluttered the whole of the tower, and within its dark folds stood a magician.
Okay. Put that like third down.
Third down, so the second from the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's 4 books, right? We have the next one will be 5.
We're 4 books in. Book number 5.
It's hard.
Eleanor stared at the grandfather clock in the 3rd floor hall.
Okay, I'm quit guessing what the book is, Keisha. The sentence is probably not the best sentence.
Mm-hmm.
So put that one on the bottom.
The very bottom?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then show them what the stack looks like 5 books in.
Okay.
To show them the signs.
This is what our stack looks like 5 books in. All right. I'm gonna hold them right here in my lap.
That's fine.
Do that.
If that's easier.
All right. This is our next book. Stop listening. All right. Charlie O'Reilly was an only child.
I wonder what book that is. Bottom of the stack.
Keisha does not like Charlie O'Reilly.
That is such a horrible first sentence when I'm trying to not know what the book is too. But also, it's not even a great first sentence, to be honest.
Book number
7.
Glad you're keeping count. Everything looks different in the dark.
That's true. This is where I'm forgetting sentences. Or, yeah, like how many?
Oh, good.
No, but like I don't know where to put it in the stack.
Okay.
Put it like 4th down maybe.
This one is the 4th from the top. Okay. Next book. sun hung low in the sky, sinking toward the horizon.
Oh. Can I have one more sentence?
No.
It's a bad sentence.
You don't get a lifeline.
Okay. Well, I did it with the one book. But that's such a bad first sentence. Put it at the bottom.
At the bottom.
Charlie
Director.
O'Reilly's better than that.
I thought it was a decent first sentence.
I don't know. But
I was
not
interested.
for... It's just like, oh, the sunset. Is this the last one or the next to last?
No, we got 4 more.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do, cowgirl.
No, we don't.
We've got 4 more left in this stack.
Maybe there were 12 books, not 10. I think there were 12.
The dining room window reflected the blurred facade of a happy family at dinner. A mom, a dad, and their only child. I almost forgot how to read.
That sounds like my family, so that's intriguing. Let's put that one. This is hard because I don't remember sentences. Maybe like 6th down in the stack. So 5 book under the 5th book.
3 books left.
Okay.
How are you doing?
I don't remember sentences, so I don't really know if the
Okay.
stacking is gonna be good.
This is our next book. Mirabelle was in the garden feeding bones to the flowers when Uncle Enoch came for her.
What book do I own? What is that? She was feeding bones to flowers.
Mm-hmm.
What book did? I don't even know what book that is. I guess it's a good thing, but what is that? Okay, it doesn't matter what it is. I want that one. I don't remember. Put it, because I know what I said is I'm going to pick the top 3, and so I'm like, what was the top 3 that I already have, and do I want to keep those? I don't know. Put it 3rd in the stack, like under the 2nd book. I may regret that decision, but ooh.
All right, 2 more left. Oh. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm. You show them the book?
I did.
Okay.
Charlie Greer was nothing special.
What did they say about Charlie O'Reilly? Why are there 2 Charlies? What was Charlie O'Reilly?
Don't worry about Charlie O'Reilly.
But I
Charlie
need to
Greer.
know
This
about
is
Charlie O'Reilly because I need to know which Charlie is more interesting.
probably Charlie O'Reilly.
See, I'm not interested in that book very much. Why do I love books? No, I want that one above Charlie O'Reilly. And it's because I think I know what book that is.
All right.
Maybe.
This is our last book. Are you ready?
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling like I'm judging these based off of what books I think they are versus the sentences, which is not what I was supposed to be doing, but
Our final book. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I shuffle the photos around my desk, sorting the ones I like most into a special pile.
I want that one up from the bottom book.
One
Because
up
sorting
from the
photos still sounds better than that sun peeking over the horizon.
You say so.
Okay, so they're all in order now, right?
We got them all. So
Okay.
this is our stack as it stands. I hope
Okay.
that you can see all of the spines.
It's not. I'm about to take care of it. Okay, so I get to open my eyes and look now.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't.
Not what you expected.
No. Okay. Well, oh my gosh. I'm so confused. Okay, so just in case you can't see all of these, we have. Well, can you hold them up again? Are they heavy?
It's not too
Okay, The House on Hoarder Hill, Field Guide to Supernatural Universe, Monsters of Brookhaven, The Plentiful Darkness, Ravenfall, The Ghouls of Howlfair, The Circus of Stolen Dreams, 13s, Extra Normal, The Missing Piece of Charlie O'Reilly, The Girl in White, and The Hidden Seek.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Peeking Over the Horizon. Oh my gosh, okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm going to analyze these and let hubby go do his thing for a minute. I'm going to analyze these. Clearly, the bottom book, we're going to talk about the bottom book and the top 3 books, but I almost want to go back through and look at what these sentences were in a little bit. So, thank you for your help.
Anytime.
And Jovi is still here too, even though you can't see her, but we're going to analyze these and I'll be right back. Okay, friends. Okay, Jovi. We are back. Jovi is my new assistant. Hello. She's so cute. She should be my assistant all the time. If only you could talk. So I'm definitely dumbfounded by this stack. So The House on Hoarder Hill, the first sentence of this one was, the stone raven dreamed of flying. And I actually thought this was going to be Ravenfall, and it wasn't. But I am not upset about this because I've had The House on Hoarder Hill on my list for a really, really long time. And I am excited about it. So this is not a bad one to have to read. So that was the tops of my stack. Book number 2, I've also been really excited for this one, and I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it. So I'm not sure if that means that it's not going to be good or what, but it's Field Guide to the Supernatural Universe by Allison Noel. And the first sentence says, look, I know this probably isn't the best way to begin a story, considering how pretty much everyone hates a pop quiz. But before you go any further, I need you to answer a question. Oh, that wasn't the first sentence. No, the do you believe in ghosts wasn't. He said it was. Because I was like, I want to know what the question is. So the question is halfway down the page. So he had to. Okay, well, he said that's what I told you. Anyways, but that's fine. I wanted to know. But I did kind of figure the way it started. I think I remembered that it was this book. So hopefully this will be a good one too. So that is number 2. And then number 3 is The Monsters of Brookhaven, which really surprises me. But actually, she said she was feeding. Ooh, look at the little portraits at the beginning of this one. Is this the one where she said she was feeding? Ooh, but look at them here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this makes sense. Mirabelle was in the garden feeding bones to the flowers when Uncle Enoch came for her. Oh my gosh. Okay, so yeah, this is obviously going to be a book that is really bizarre. Monsters of Brookhaven. I mean, you can only guess. I love that it has little illustrations throughout it though. So that is book 3. So these are the top books that are going to be books that I potentially read for this vlog. I don't know if I'll get to all 3 of them or not. Well, I'm going to read a chapter of each of these. So I'll read a chapter of all 3 books and then figure out if I want to try to tackle all 3, 2, or 1 of these in this vlog. But that is so interesting. I'm definitely going to go back and look at these books. But the bottom one is The Hidden Seek by Nate Cernasek. So I'm definitely going to have to do a trial chapter of this one to figure out if I still want to keep it. But I almost feel like, what if I just read this one too? What if I just read the top book and the bottom book? Because this is short enough where I feel like I could possibly get through it in one sitting or decide if I want to unhaul it. So, I don't know. You hid, but you were not found. You thought you were playing a harmless game. You were wrong. So I don't know. Those are kind of the books we're dealing with here. So I'm going to take a little break. Will and I are about to go for a walk in the park. And then I'm going to come back here and do my try chapter and let you guys know how I feel about each one. Okay. It is much later and I have decided what I'm going to do. So I am going to fully read the book that had my favorite first sentence and my least favorite first sentence in this vlog. After I looked at this stack, I did kind of realize that the 2 Charlie books technically should have been on the bottom, but I kept forgetting what sentence was where and all that stuff. So this isn't completely accurate to how I probably would have put the sentences, but on the fly, this is accurate. So this is my favorite sentence. This was my least favorite sentence. And then what I'm going to do a try chapter for is these 2. So I'm going to try a chapter of The Monsters of Brookhaven by Padraig Kenny and Field Guide to the Supernatural Universe by Allison Noel. So I'm going to start with Field Guide to the Supernatural Universe, and let me go ahead and tell you what this book is about. When he first started seeing ghosts, Max Woodbead Smith assumed that other people must see them too. Now at the end of 6th grade, Max knows better and keeps the visions to himself. Max's mission, appear normal. But when Max arrives at Woodbead Mansion to spend the summer in the town of Glimmerville with his eccentric grandfather Ramhart Woodbead, he can't ignore the world of spirits. Here in a town shrouded in constant fog, pies are enchanted and ghosts roam free. Goodbye normal. After a supernatural storm hits and captures Ramhart's soul, Max, with the help of a few new friends, has to go on a quest to find his grandfather's field guide, an enchanted book that contains the key to defeating an unearthly nemesis. And they'd better find it fast before Ramhart's soul is gone for good. So let me go ahead and jump into this first chapter, and then I will come back and let you know what I thought. Okay, the first chapter ended up being 17 pages long, which is pretty lengthy. And honestly, it took me a lot longer to read it because I was dozing off. It has been a very long day, so that's not a surprise, but also I wasn't super intrigued by this. So you meet our main character, Max, and he is kind of like asking you, do you believe in ghosts? If you answer yes, you're correct, turn the page. If you answer no, keep in mind that just because you don't believe in something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. For further proof, definitely turn the page. And if you're not sure if you believe in ghosts, you should absolutely turn the page. So the next time someone asks you that question, you can answer correctly. And then it starts chapter 1, where you find out that there is this video that has gone around Max's school of him doing something. And he explains how he has always seen these ghosts and they've always caused him trouble, and he's never gone through a school year without having an incident or incidents that seem to, like the normal eye, that it's his doing, but really he has just been trying to like save his classmates or his teachers or himself from ghosts, but it always looks like he's doing the things wrong. And so he has a scene that gets videoed in the classroom, security escorts him out, all that stuff. Honestly, I used to be really, really excited for this book, especially because this cover is just really, really pretty. But I just don't know that I'm interested. I don't know that I'm interested in keeping it. I don't know if I'm really going to like it that much. So I think I'm going to actually choose to unhaul this, which is great. So I'm glad I tried a chapter of that, and I can get that off my shelf. This will be posted on my Pango Bookstore. So if you're interested, I will leave the link down below. And if the book is still up, it will be there. I'm going to try The Monsters of Brookhaven by Padraig Kenny next. And this synopsis says, Mirabelle has always known she is a monster, but she never knew the world was full of them. Mirabelle is part of an unusual family, between Uncle Bertram transforming into a ferocious grizzly bear and Aunt Eliza's body consisting entirely of spiders. It's safe to say they are an extraordinary lot. To the human residents of Brookhaven Village, the family is considered a threat. So long ago, a treaty was reached between them in return for sundries and supplies. The monsters agreed not to eat the townspeople, and a magical barrier was cast around the monsters' manor to keep strangers out. But this spell serves a second purpose, to keep Mirabelle and her family hidden from those who would harm them. When 2 orphans, siblings Jim and Tom, stumble upon a tear in the magical field and open a door that was meant to stay locked, Mirabelle and her family are put in grave danger. A very real monster has locked onto their scent, and he has a hunger for their kind. Chilling, thought-provoking, and stunningly illustrated, The Monsters of Brookhaven explores difference and empathy through the eyes of characters you won't soon forget. This kind of sounds like maybe the Addams Family-esque. So I don't know if I'll like it because I'm getting out of like the whole like kitty monster type of spooky middle grade, but this is like Mirabelle's chapter, and then I like the illustrations here, which assumedly those are the plants she was feeding bones to. And then here are some more illustrations. So this chapter looks like it's going to be quite a few pages long too. Let's see. Yeah, so it's going to be 14 pages long, and then you switch perspective 1 week later to Jim. So I guess we will just read the first chapter and then see how I'm feeling, and we'll either continue reading this or we will unhaul it. And actually, if that happens with either of these, I may just pick more books to read, but at least we're getting somewhere. So we're going to try out The Monsters of Brookhaven. Sometimes the monsters take us, sometimes we become the monsters. Okay, so like I said, this was 14 pages, and I do think I am more interested in this one than I was the field guide book. It is giving like the Addams Family vibes. Basically, the first chapter, we meet Mirabelle, and Mirabelle is feeding these flowers when Uncle Enoch comes and tells her that someone new is coming. And she was the last new person to be in Brookhaven. And so now they're like all gathering together in the Room of Lights to welcome in this new baby. And so you have all these different characters. You have, that's who is like in these portraits. So you have Mirabelle, Uncle Enoch, Aunt Eliza, who I think she is made up of all spiders. You have Odd, you have Gideon the baby, Uncle Bertram, Dottie and Daisy the twins, and then you have Piglet, who is supposedly really dangerous. So I'm interested enough to keep reading and then see how I feel going forward. So right now, we're just going to say I'm going to read The Monsters of Brookhaven, The Hidden Seek, which was my least favorite sentence, which actually probably wouldn't be in hindsight, but the sentence was, I think the one about the sun hung low in the sky, sinking toward the horizon. Yeah. A slight breeze stirred the trees and blew through the empty swings. Their chains jostled and clinked. The jungle gym was deserted, as were the monkey bars, the seesaw, the slides. The park was empty. Almost. So I think I actually might end up enjoying this one. I don't know. It's really short, so I don't mind trying it and then unhauling it if I don't enjoy it. And then, of course, like I said, the house on Hoarder Hill, I'm really, really excited for. So, yeah. And this is, I think, kind of maybe more of a mystery, but it's still spooky. So, I'm excited. These are the books on my TBR for this video. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of a break because I'm tired. I'm going to snack, and I'll either check in with you guys later tonight, which is not a probability, or I will check in with you tomorrow and let you know which one of these bad boys I'm going to be reading first. Okay, we have the first book that I am reading for this vlog, and that is The Monsters of Brookhaven by Padre Kenny. So this book, I'm already about halfway through, and that's taken me about 2 sittings worth. So I'm not loving this one. And if I hadn't already DNF'd so many books this year, I might DNF this one just because I don't care. It's not that it's that bad. It's just like, you know how sometimes you're just like I could go without it. That's kind of how I'm doing with books lately, is like if I feel like I can go without it, I'm just going to put it to the side. But for the sake of this vlog, for the sake of you guys knowing my thoughts on the books and me not just like giving all these books a DNF to get them off my shelves, I probably will unhaul this book, but I just wanted to let you guys know that like that's kind of how I'm feeling. So it's the book, I didn't tell you guys what the book's about, and I can't really tell you right now because, well, I guess I can tell you without reading the synopsis. I'm driving, so it's like not easy for me to do this right now, but this is the only time that I have to update you before I read more. So essentially it's about, there is this town of Brookhaven, and there is a house in Brookhaven where the monsters of Brookhaven live, and there is this deal called the covenant between the monsters and the humans of this village, that they keep this kind of like force field thing up, I think it's called the glamour, around their house, and keep them in to protect them, or to protect the humans from them, or them from the humans, whatever, like vice versa, just to keep them away from each other. Well, one day, so they do have people that bring deliveries to them and stuff like that. So they have people that have like a key to get in through this like force field, you know? And so one day there ends up being this like hole in the glamour, and you have these 2 characters, Jim and Tom. They're brother and sister. They've run away from home. They've had a really hard life, and you get to know a little bit about that in the story. And they go through this glamour and go to the house, and now they are guests at have different perspectives. You have Mirabelle's perspective, who is our main character, and you don't really know a lot about her. You're getting told a lot about the other monsters in the house, but you're not really getting told a lot about her. So you're trying to figure out that. And then you also have this character named Piglet, and you have no idea what kind of monster Piglet is, but he is locked away in his own room and you don't really see him. And yeah, so you're just kind of learning about how they all got here, who they all are, what's going on. But there's also this just really ominous, like kind of mysterious thing happening where you're like, okay, something's off here. Like what's going on? And I think that this book is definitely trying to tell you something, like it's trying to say something. And I think I've gathered what it's trying to say, but I feel like it's kind of, I don't know, I feel like it's a lot. Like I feel like the book is just a lot. And maybe it's just what it is and me trying to keep up with all the characters and what's going on and stuff. And it's not that hard, but like, I don't know. It's just, it's a weird book. It's giving the Addams Family. So if you like the Addams Family, maybe check that out. Or even like Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. It's giving those vibes. So if either of those things interest you, I think this would be a good spooky middle grade for you. It's not my favorite thing. Like, I'm intrigued enough. I got more intrigued about at the halfway point, or wherever I am now, the chapter I just finished, I got a little bit more intrigued because this new character got introduced. And I'm like, what's going on here? So I am definitely intrigued by that. So I am going to continue reading, and I'll probably update you guys next whenever I'm finished. I'm going to try to listen to the audiobook today at work some, and then see how far I can get. I do like the audiobook narrator for this one, so that's a plus. I did start listening to the audio after a little bit because it was like I was having a hard time keeping my attention focused on the book. So yeah, that's my first book. Like I said, it's probably going to end up, I mean, it's not going to be a 4 or 5 star, predictably. And I'm probably going to unhaul it, so it'll probably be on my Pango, but I will confirm that at the end of, when I read it, when I get finished reading it, and then we'll move on to the other books. But that is my update. I'm going to go to work, and I will check back in when I have read more of the book. All right, I have finished The Monsters of Rookhaven, and I will say that the end of the story picked up a lot more than the beginning, but I'm so tired of reading books. I have read so many books this year that have done the thing where the first half of the book is really slow and really boring, or I just feel really neutral about it, and then either the second half or the very end of the book is good. And I feel like just all the authors that I'm reading lately don't have really good pacing with their books, so I need to change that. But this was for a video, that's why I finished it, and my final thoughts on this is that I just thought it was okay. I could see some of the things it was trying to do, but I don't know, like I wasn't super invested in the characters or the story. I do feel like I was invested a little bit more in the end, and I cared a little bit more in the end, but there was just something missing for me, and there was something a little lackluster about it. And maybe it just wasn't Keisha's story. I don't know. But I'm just going to give it a 2 stars. It was okay. So I don't really have much to add or say about it. I feel like if I really love a book or I really hate a book, that's when the vlog becomes more interesting. So if I just feel meh about a book, it's not really going to be as good. But I have decided to go ahead and start The Hidden Seek. So this is the book that was at the bottom of the stack, which again, I really feel like the missing piece of Charlie O'Reilly would have been at the bottom of the stack, because after thinking about it, I feel like that sentence was like my least favorite. Like Charlie O'Reilly was an only child. Like that's the first sentence, and that's the most dull first sentence of all of these. The following sentences are better, but in the moment, this is what I picked. So this is what I'm going to start with. And basically, let's see what this book is about. The Hidden Seek. It is coming, whether you are ready or not. After Holly and Hector Thorne are left behind during a simple game of hide and seek, they find themselves transported to the Hidden Seek, a cursed world seemingly trapped in time. There, it, a shape-shifting witch, stalks children day and night, turning any she can lay her hands on into statues, frozen in their final moments of terror. That kind of sounds like Medusa. Together with the other lost children they encounter, Holly and Hector will have to unravel the mysterious origins of the Hidden Seek and find a way to put a stop to the curse once and for all, before they get stuck there forever. Because in this twisted game of hide and seek, they are playing for their lives. So, we're going to go ahead and start this. It is significantly shorter than the last book, and it looks like the text is a little bit bigger. So I will start this one and then I will come back and give initial thoughts. I'm just going to be real with y'all for a second. The reason that I feel like I can't vlog right now is because I've read 3 books this year that I've given 5 stars. Wait, 4. 4 now, okay? It's just not happening a lot. I'm being very brutal with the books I read this year. I'm not enjoying a lot of the books I'm reading this year, but it's getting them off my shelves, so that's a positive. But I just want to be honest, okay? I don't want to force myself to read books I don't like. So, and I know sometimes you can't tell if you're going to like a book. But if it doesn't grip me, this is just where we're at this year. If it doesn't grip me, I don't really, unless I'm hate reading it or I'm loving it. I really don't. I just don't want to waste my time with mediocre books. You know what I'm saying? And just because I think a book is mediocre does not mean somebody else will think a book is mediocre, and doesn't mean the book is bad. This is my opinion. This is my channel. This is what we're doing. So, I've only made it to chapter 4. I'm 14 pages into the Hidden Seek. This was on the bottom of my stack. And because it was on the bottom, because I didn't like the sentence, and because I said I could just try a chapter and unhaul, and I've tried like 3, I'm just done. I don't want to read this. So we're going to quickly just shift on over, and I'm going to read the top book on the pile. I'm not going to do it tonight because it's late, so I'll check back in later once I start it, and I'll tell you about what it's about and everything, but I'm not going to waste my time. So this is another unhaul. So this one and the Monsters of Brookhaven, they're on my Pango, if they're still there. So if you want to get them, if they sound interesting to you, check them out. But the reason I'm going to stop this one is because I feel like this is just more of a scary story. There may be something to it, I don't know. But if I just start a book and it seems like just a scary story and there's not going to be any depth to it, like this is literally just about a game of hide and seek in this other world, I don't really want to read it. So I'm going to DNF it, and that's okay. Okay, so I have started my final book for this vlog, and it is The House on Hoarder Hill by Mickey Lish and Kelly Nagai. And I am 94 pages in. And I will say this is not really a spooky middle grade book. It's more of a light magic, whimsical mystery book. So if any of that sounds up your alley, I would recommend checking this one out. Let me go ahead and kind of give you the synopsis of the book. Dare you enter the house on Hoarder Hill? When Hetty and Spencer start receiving messages on dusty picture frames, a visit to their grandfather's eerie old house turns into something much more sinister. Hidden in the labyrinth of their grandfather's belongings are the clues to solving their family's biggest mystery, the disappearance of their Grandma Rose. But what is their grandfather not telling them? As their curiosity leads them into the forbidden rooms of the house, Hetty and Spencer will unravel a dangerous web of secrets and lies about their grandfather's past as a magician. Soon they will discover that, like Grandpa himself, the house possesses not only secrets but also real magic. With the help of a talking mounted stag head, a bearskin rug, and other disembodied spirits, Hetty and Spencer will set out to piece together the mystery. Searching for clues will unveil long-forgotten enchantments, surprising foes, and a few unexpected friends. Because in the house of a magician, you never know what or who you will find. So, if that sounds good to you, I would recommend checking this one out. It is not my favorite, and I'm going to just take a moment here to be very transparent with you all. So I know we're in a vlog. We are going with this theme. We're having a good time. I'm not really having a good time. And I'm just in full transparency going to let you guys know that this has not been the best reading year for me. I have had the hardest time getting into reading this year, getting into books this year. I guess not getting into reading. I'm enjoying the thought of reading. I like to sit down and read a book, but I feel like the majority of books that I'm picking up this year are just not hitting it for me. I have read some of my favorite books of all time this year, but they have been very few and far between. I know we're just in March right now, but I'm having such a hard time. Like, every time I pick up a book, I've had like 6 or 7 DNFs this year. And if this wasn't for a vlog, I probably would DNF it. If the Monsters of Brookhaven wasn't for this vlog, I probably would have DNF'd it. It ended up being a 2-star. And this is probably just going to be like a 2 or a 3, which I don't want. And I'm not saying those are bad ratings. A 2-star means the book was okay. A 3-star means it was good. But I don't want those. I want the great books, the amazing books, the blow me out of the water books. And I just haven't found those this year. And I'm not sure if my reading taste is just really evolving, if other things, like outside things, are influencing my reading. I have no idea. So I'm definitely struggling this year because I have a lot of video concepts that I want to do and a lot of fun ideas, but I'm just having a hard time enjoying what I'm reading in those moments. And even outside of that, if I say I'm just going to mood read, it's still not working in my favor. I've taken breaks from reading. I've pushed myself to read. So it's not really any of the above. It's just a happenstance that this is going on. But I will say that unfortunately that does make vlogs like this a little less exciting, but I want to be transparent with you all that I am struggling in my reading this year, and that I hope that there's at least some portion of this vlog, even if it's just the very beginning with my husband being the adorable person that he is. If that's the only part that you liked, that's totally fine. I'm just struggling to honestly like make content like this and get it out. I've deleted a couple of videos that I have fully vlogged because I've hated the books, and I'm so tired of hating books. So I don't really need recommendations. I don't really need advice, but I just wanted to be transparent with you all that I am going through this really big lull in my reading journey. We are going to get out of it. I do still have some ideas for reading vlogs that I want to do, and I'm still going to implement those, but I just hope that this all comes together soon. But just know that I may not love this one, but I've heard so many good things about this book. I actually was sent this book by Belle from Belle's Middle Grade. If you are looking for great middle grade recommendations, she always posts so many great ones on Instagram. I know she has a YouTube channel too. It's been a minute since I've watched her videos. I think she still has it up. So if she does, I'll link it down below. But she has the best middle grade recommendations, and there's so many other people that do too, like Krista from Books and Jams, all the ladies that host Middle Grade March, and there are so many great middle grade booktubers out there. And I know that some of you may be here because you've known me to be one. I host Spookathon, which is usually twice a year, and it's a spooky middle grade readathon. I've participated in Middle Grade March. I love middle grade. I've been a children's librarian, but I do think maybe in this season of my life, middle grade is not going to be my favorite thing. But I'm still trying to find those diamonds in the rough. So I'm going to continue this book. I'll report back when I finish my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this vlog. But thank you so much for just being here and being with me through the ups and downs of my reading journey. So sorry to take the side tangent in the vlog, but we had to go there. I'll check back in when I have more to say about this book. Friends, we have had quite the interesting turn of events here. While I had planned for this vlog to go a little bit more positive than it did, my reading right now is just not it. I think I may be quite past my, at least with some books, my middle grade era. I feel like I've been on and off it for the past few years, but I don't feel like there's a lot of middle grade that's really calling to me nowadays. So with that being said, and this is so hard for me, I don't think you guys realize how hard it is for me to DNF knowing how much I've DNF'd this year, but I have made it to page 176 of The House on Hoarder Hill. Now, I have made it more than halfway through this book, and knowing that I DNF'd a lot of books this year and that there's so many pages that I didn't count as books read, I think I am going to count this book as read, but I'm not going to rate it, I don't think. I mean, honestly, I think either, well, okay, somebody's going to be mad at me because I may rate it 2 stars. But here's the deal. For 176 pages, I have felt like this is going to be just an okay 2-star read. No matter what happens in the end, that's where it's going to fall. So if you do see a rating for this, it might be 2 stars. But I'm going to make the tough decision to pull this bookmark out and close this book because it's not bringing me joy. It's a fine story, but I really don't care about the characters or what's happening or anything else. So with that being said, I've not had a very successful reading vlog. So I'm going to unhaul this book as well as the couple other books that I mentioned. And I was kind of prompted by all of this to just do a clean sweep and unhaul of more middle grade books that have been on my shelf for a really long time. So I went back through my stack, and I'll try to go back through again. I don't think I remember the exact order that these were in, but let me see if I can put them close to it. Okay, this may not be the exact order, but I'm going to go through these books, and I have read the first page and or the first chapter or 2 of each of these books and have made a decision whether or not I'm going to keep or unhaul these books. So the first book that I want to talk about is The Plentiful Darkness by Heather Kastner. This has been a potential unhaul for me for a while, but after reading the first chapter and a half, I decided that I liked the writing and I'm going to keep this one for now. The next book that I have is Ravenfall by Kaylin Josephson. This book has really beautiful writing as well. I know this author writes a lot of young adult fantasy, and I know that this book is going to be a little bit fantasy heavy with the Halloween aspect. It's going to have a lot of monsters and stuff, so I'm not really sure if I'm going to like it, but I do want to still keep this and give it a try because I do still really like the writing. I'm also going to keep The Ghouls of Howlfair by Nick Tomlinson. I'm not sure if I'm going to like this one or not either, but again, the writing was good with this one, and I'm intrigued by the story, so I'm still going to keep this one. And then obviously, I'm going to keep Lorelei Saverin's The Circus of Stolen Dreams because I loved her other book, The Edge of In-Between, and I have high hopes for this one, so I'm crossing my fingers that I will enjoy it. Now gets to the part of the stack where I'm not so sure. So I have 13s by Kate Alice Marshall, and I, to this day, have not really read anything by Kate Alice Marshall, and I am slowly losing steam and interest in her books. So I did read the first little bit of this one. I think this is just going to be a scary story for the sake of being scary and have a lot of monster elements in it as well, and just things that, while it might end up being a good story, I'm not super interested in keeping it, so I'm going to unhaul this book. And this one makes me extra sad because I just recently got this one from my friend Gwen, but if I'm being honest with myself, I'm not interested in this book, and that is Extra Normal, also by Kate Alice Marshall. If I had to pick between the two, I think I'm even more interested in this one than this one, but I did read the first chapter of both of these. I don't love the writing. It's not bad writing, but I don't think I'm going to be interested in either of these stories because they're going to draw on more of the fantasy elements of Spooky Middle Grade, and I don't know if there's going to be like a heartwarming element or a really good like moral to the story, which is what I love so much in Spooky Middle Grade. So I think I'm going to have to let these go. Another one that I'm going to let go is The Missing Piece of Charlie O'Reilly. You guys might have been able to tell this in the beginning of the video where I just was like kind of hoping that Charlie was going to be at the bottom of the stack. I'm just not super interested in this book anymore. It's also really long and there are lots of words on the page, and I think I can go without knowing what happens in the story. It has been on my shelves for a very long time, like I said, so I'm going to go ahead and unhaul this one. And the last book in the stack I'm going to keep, and that is because it is by Lindsay Curry. This is The Girl in White. Lindsay Curry does tend to write scary stories for the sake of being scary stories in a sense, but she does have heartwarming horror elements in her stories. Because I've read every book that Lindsay has written besides this one, I am going to keep it and read it and keep it in my collection. So that is all of the books that I had in the stack, but I went even further and I went to my middle grade shelf. There are some that I still think I may not read, but I want to keep them a little bit longer just to see how I feel about them. But I did choose a few to unhaul. One is When We Were Warriors by Emma Carroll. I do think that I might enjoy this story because I've enjoyed Emma Carroll's books before. There's one book, what is it called? Like something about A Strange Star, maybe. It's a Frankenstein kind of reimagining or retelling. I didn't love that one, but I loved Letters from the Lighthouse. So I feel like I could really enjoy her story. She's kind of like the queen of middle grade historical fiction. But the reason that I'm unhauling this one is because I keep thinking that I need to get Frost Hollow Hall and read it first. And then if I like that one, continue with this one. I don't think I have to read it first, but there is a storyline in here where one of the three characters goes to Frost Hollow Hall. And I think you're going to hear a little bit about that may stem from that first story. So I'm just going to unhaul this. I'm not saying I'll never read it in the future, but I'm definitely not going to read it anytime soon because I don't have Frost Hollow Hall. Then, this is so reluctantly, I've decided to unhaul The Magnificent Monsters of Cedar Street by Lauren Oliver. I adore the cover of this book, and I really, really, really want to read it, but I don't think I'm going to enjoy it as much as I would like to. So this is a story about a girl and her father who kind of care for these different monsters and magical creatures. In the beginning of the story, you do have a couple of little art pieces that are really cute, and then it tells you a short guide to the monsters referenced in this book. And this goes on, when I tell you, for literal pages. Like, all of this is about the different monsters and making sure you know what they are. So there's some common ones like phoenixes, vampire bats, trolls, werewolves, but then there's some you may not know about. But for all these pages, you have that, and then it starts the story. And while I think it's going to be really interesting, and I love things like Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and Source Align, and the Spiderwick Chronicles, and this feels like something similar. I just don't think it's going to hit for me at this point in my life. I'm just not enjoying stories like this anymore. So reluctantly, I'm going to be unhauling this. And the last book that I'm going to be unhauling is The Halloween Moon by Joseph Fink. I've also had this book for a couple of years now, and it does sound intriguing. It's about like Halloween, and it's about Halloween. Really, Keisha? It's about this town where it kind of gets flipped upside down, and it's Halloween every day, and they're trying to break this curse. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it as much, so I just am not as interested anymore, so I'm going to unhaul that. So let me grab all the books that I'm unhauling. I did grab another one that you guys didn't see me unhaul, and that is Cat's Cradle, The Golden Twine by Jo Rue. This is a graphic novel series. I started reading this last year. I did read the second book for Let's Get Graphic this year, and I do enjoy the book, but I don't love it. I think it's just like a 2-star series for me. I may continue it and I may not, but I don't feel the need to keep this book. So, and then also, as you remember before, I decided to unhaul The Hidden Seek, The Monsters of Brookhaven, and Field Guide to the Supernatural Universe. So, all of these books will be listed in my Pango store, so if you are interested in any of them, you can check them out there. And I hope that despite the fact that I didn't really love anything I was reading in this video, that you had a good time with me. I know sometimes it's hard if you're not loving a book or hating a book to rant about it either way. It's not always fun. So hopefully you enjoyed at least a part of this vlog. Maybe you enjoyed the unhaul portion at the end. Maybe you enjoyed the first part where I was getting to do the first sentence challenge with my husband. I think that's probably my favorite part, but also it feels good to get books off my shelves that I'm really just truly not interested in anymore. So thank you all for sticking with me through this video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you made it this far, if you will leave me a spooky ghost emoji down below, since I was trying a chapter and first sentences of spooky middle grade books, that would be awesome. If you don't know what else to say, just leave that emoji. And again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, friends.